I think when I was a kid, one of the first memories that I had was back in 1975. I moved here from Taiwan, and we didn't really have a Halloween back in Taiwan. So when I came here, it was around Halloween time, and I went to a store called King Norman's, a toy store, and in down the shelves were some of the most amazing display of latex masks I've ever seen. Up till that point, I've only seen masks that were made of cardboard, and they were literally printed with little eye holes cut out and rubber bands that you put on. So seeing a full head in latex, I don't know what that was, but it changed my life. I was so blown away by that. It changed my life, and I started collecting the masks for about 4 years. Accumulated about 30 of them by the time I was 14. But that wasn't enough for me. I had to know how they were made. So, back in those days, that was back in the 70s, we didn't have it like makeup schools or anything you wanted to learn about mask making. You maybe once in a while could see something on TV, like a behind the scenes on the making of King Kong or something. And so I went to theatrical books for ideas, and I saw you had to do sculpture, you had to do molds and stuff. So I just said, started practicing that myself, and eventually kind of led to what I did here. But that memory of seeing masks for the first time I can't even express how magical that was. That changed my life. First job down here was actually working for Stan Winston. It was a film called Invaders from Mars, the remake. And that was back in 1975. I came down here. Stan was actually up in England at the time on Aliens. So I came down, and Alec Gillis was in charge. So he hired me, brought me in. I was doing all the, like running polyfoam, seaming, all the stuff that sort of very rudimentary stuff, except I had not done before. So it was all sort of magic to me, I'm learning how to use these chemicals. I'm learning all the process. And then eventually, when Stan came back, I met Stan. It was a great experience, and I ended up starting to paint. Stan liked stuff I was painting, so he kind of asked me to paint some stuff. I ended up painting all the big brains on the drones myself, and that was really fun. And then we went on set for about a month and a half, and I got to say that was probably one of the most educational experiences I've ever had. Only because the way Stan worked on set, he just had this way of regulating everything. The way he taught us to interact with the ADs, always asking them what's next, what's going on. We're always just in touch and knowing what's going on. That after I was done with the project and I had gone on to do my own things, I've never had a problem on set with an AD. In fact, the ADs always come to me and go, "You're like the most professional, prepared guy I ever worked with because you're always asking me what's going on next, and you always prepare when I need you." And that was attributed to Stan because that was something that Stan had taught me when I was working for him. I've worked with like Rick Baker and I worked with Dick Smith, but only in a teaching capacity in Japan, not on an actual project. But I have to say, of all these sort of old timers, the guys who were the masters when I got started, Stan was really my mentor. I'd only worked for him on I think 2 or 3 projects back to back over a period of about 10 months total. The thing that I took away from working at Stan's the most was Stan taught me how to appreciate what I do. When you're growing up as a kid, you either have an incredibly huge ego or you're a self-hating perfectionist. I was more the self-hating perfectionist. And everything I did, Stan would come by, he really enjoyed what I did and really applauded me for doing a good job. But I would always be like, "Oh, I hate this and I hate that. I can't believe I wish I had more time. I can make this better. I know I can. I just have to." And one time, Stan pulled me aside and he said, I understand you want to do the best job that you can, but if you don't ever give yourself credit for doing a good job once in a while, if you feel like you did a good job, it's okay. It's okay for you to say it to yourself, like, "Hey, I did good. I'm proud." If you don't do that every once in a while, then what are you doing this for? Why are you torturing yourself all the time? What's it all for in the end? And it made a lot of sense to me, and it sort of, I kind of grew up from that. And the irony of it all is that I find myself teaching that lesson. I've taught this lesson to many of my friends, and some of them, older generation than I am. Very much, I run into self-hating perfectionists all the time. So it's sort of my way of passing on the wisdom here. Well, if you were 16 years old, I would say stop texting, pay attention. The new generation I've found has gotten so mixed in with technology now that I think it's a bit distracting. You know, when I started doing it, I had the fortune of having telephone and nothing else. And so what came with that was a passion for loving monsters and wanting to make monsters. Having the skill set to do it is very important. Like, being a good sculptor comes with a lot of practice, a lot of hard work. What a lot of the younger generations don't get and should understand is that to be good at anything, you have to work hard. To succeed at anything, one of the traits of people who are successful is that they go above and beyond the call of duty and they ask for no compensation. It's not about the compensation, it's about what you feel inside, what you want to do. And so that all ties in with passion. Work hard at being the best artist you can. If it means sculpting, if it means painting, don't go party every single night. Sit at home in your garage, get your hands dirty, do the work, and hopefully you have to love it. Because if you don't love it, then you shouldn't do it. It's not worth it. Being an artist is a very lonely life. It really is. And so if you don't love what you do, then there's no point. Because if you love what you do, then your love for it keeps you company. It really does. Because I've been doing it now since I was 14 years old. I've been doing it over 31 years. I still love it. I still work at least 12 hours a day, every day. So it's just something. It speaks about passion. You gotta have the passion. If you don't love it, if you're just dabbling with it, dabble, move on. But if you truly love doing this, then you have to put in the hours. You have to work hard, and you have to do it out of your heart, out of your interest, not because you want to be compensated or you want to be, named the next Academy Award. None of that means anything. What's most important is how you feel about what you do at the end of the day. So work hard, work hard, work hard.